So I once again found myself in an interesting situation recently where my brother said, oh yeah, Dad dropped off an old PC at the house like 3 years ago and said it just didn't work. And that PC happens to be right here behind me, the one that's all lit up and clearly working. So I plugged it in and it turned on, but it wouldn't boot. So I just realized there wasn't an SSD in there. So I put that SSD in there. And actually, this computer was kind of a powerhouse 9 years ago. So I've decided today to figure out, can it continue to be a powerhouse in 2026 or has it kind of died down? So to give you the exact specs, I have not changed anything other than the power supply because that wouldn't fit something we need for the future part of this video. It's got an i7-8700K, which is the processor. It has the stock Intel cooler. I really don't know how well that's going to work for some of these tests. It has these 4 sticks of RAM, which amounts to 32 gigs of DDR4. I think it was 3000 megahertz. I forgot to double check that. It has this sweet Maximus X ROG Gamer motherboard. It's a very nice looking motherboard. And then it has a GTX 1060, which is a 3 gigabyte card. So the objective of today's video is we want to see if this 9-year-old PC, specifically that i7-8700K, can handle modern GPUs. And if you're in a situation like this where you find yourself with a PC of that age, is it worth spending your money to upgrade to a GPU, or do you have to go with a whole new motherboard and, potentially a new CPU as well? So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be taking 2 different graphics cards. First, we are going to test just briefly on this 1063 gig some modern games. It does not look good, it does not perform well, so don't expect much out of that. But we are going to drop an RTX 2080 Ti into the build, see how that runs. And then to take things to the extreme level, we have an Asus Prime Radeon RX 9070 XT. Try to say that 5 times really fast. This is a very high-end card. I think it goes for like $750 to $800. I've tested this in other videos. It is a beast. So we're going to try out the 1060 first just to get a baseline, 2080 Ti, and then the 9070 XT to see the expectation of, do you really need to upgrade your processor, or is a 9-year-old CPU handling just fine? Today we are going to be testing 3 different games. So we're going to test Arc Raiders because it's just super popular right now. We're going to do Borderlands 4 and Marvel Spider-Man 2. If you guys do have future games you would like me to test in future videos, please let me know. However, before we get into the game testing, I do want to let you guys know I am working on a newsletter where I will update you of future content and other crazy things that happen in my life that involves this PC world. For example, picking up this PC that might be a gem. So if you are interested in that, it is a free service. I have that linked down in the description below. And in addition, there is an opportunity to win a PC. So biannually, I offer a subscriber service of $5 where if you've been subscribed for 3 months, every June and December, I build a PC to give away to the subscribers on the newsletter. If that is something that's interesting to you, please be sure to check that out. Otherwise, let's go ahead and test some games on this and see, do you actually need to upgrade your processor, or can it handle some newer modern stuff? Okay, so I don't even know how we're doing this, but this is Arc Raiders on that 1060, and this is a 1440p monitor. I don't know how it's loaded, how it's working, but here are the things that we want to pay attention to. So the CPU temperature, this is a stock cooler. When I was loading and getting like the shaders, it did hit 90 degrees, so it got pretty hot. You can see the amount of RAM that we're using. So we have 32 gigs, it's using 16. The GPU temperature is hitting 67% or 67 degrees Celsius, utilized 99%, and it's only a 3 gigabyte of VRAM card. Again, I don't understand how this game is running, but here we are. Let's go ahead and look at the settings that I have got it on. I'm gonna also try to lower everything as much as I possibly can. Oh, it already is on low. Everything is on low. So somehow it's claiming we're getting 90 FPS. Look at the gray hair. We're gonna go outside so we can see a little more. Again, I'm still just impressed the game is even running. Look over here, it's not even fully loaded in. Oh gosh, it's raining. Look at the trees, you guys. And the smokestack right there. So again, I'm surprised it's even loading this game on just in specific this graphics card here. I didn't expect it to do much. But honestly, for a 3 gigabyte, I think the 1060 is 9 or 10 years old at this point as well. You can't complain. For a 3 gig VRAM card, when we're saying that 8 is the minimum now, I bet this could probably run things like Minecraft and other like low usage. So this gives us a really good baseline of, oh my gosh, look at those trees. It's basically just shapes and blobs. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit for you guys to see all this, but like the trees and the shapes here are just the worst. And we're consistently hitting like 70 to 80 degrees on this. So if I might end up selling this, I might end up putting on a non-stock cooler for whoever wants to purchase it. But yeah, this gives us a really good baseline. So let's go ahead and throw in the 2080 Ti and we'll test all of the games. But I wanted to just show you guys, like, actually that's not that bad. Hold on here. Let me try to get back to the face. I don't know how to do that. Turn this way, you fool. All right, well, hopefully you guys saw it for a brief second there. There we go. Okay. She just wants to turn, or he wants to turn. I can't remember if this is a guy or girl. So that's relatively decent for a 3 gigabyte VRAM card. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the 2080 Ti and see, you know, is this i7-8700K still relatively competent? The 2080 Ti came out a few years after, I believe, so that one won't be as hard to run, and we'll see how it handles modern games. The 9070 XT is where we're gonna see if it's kind of getting throttled pretty hard or bottlenecked. All right, so we've got now the 2080 Ti loaded in here. Oh my gosh, dude, this computer is literally a heater right now. So we're gonna continue to pay attention to the temperatures, look at the FPS. You know, as I mentioned, this CPU gets extremely hot, 85 degrees. Holy cow, we're gonna have to put another cooler on there because that's just not acceptable. It is being utilized almost all the way, and I'm getting blasted by the GPU here too. So we're sitting at 200 FPS, 16 gigs of RAM, only 3 gigs of VRAM. I'm gonna show you the settings here. We probably could crank this a little higher. So we're still on 1440p. It does let us use the, what was I thinking of? Yeah, we're on 1440p. Oh, the ray tracing is, oh, we're gonna turn that down to static. So that probably will help. I'm gonna go ahead and bump things up to high because I think we can. Holy cow, it's hot in my office right now, you guys. I'm gonna get a little closer here and let you guys hear this. It's really loud too. All right, so we're at 90 degrees, 150 FPS, 4 gigs of VRAM. So honestly, if we threw a cooler on this, this still, wow, this is extremely impressive. I really don't know how long I'm gonna game on this. I mean, I looked it up on the internet, so I'm obviously not an expert at everything, but I looked it up and it said the i7-8700K is capable of running from 80 to 90 degrees, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. And I don't know if that's just Intel, if that's just the date and the age of things, but obviously you can see like the blobs are gone. The trees look high quality again. This is pretty solid, but again, the 2080 Ti came out like 2 or 3 years after the 8700K, so it's not like this was mind-blowing to use at that time. This is just impressive because of the date and the age of this hardware. So, but really graphic fidelity is super high. I mean, we're pushing the GPU to the max, we're pushing the CPU almost to the max, and it is important to note, the case is open here. My brother didn't even have the side case or the back panel for it. So the temperatures would probably be hotter if I did have all that on here. So just important thing to note. But I am not seeing like any kind of problems or issues that might cause us. I feel like, again, if I were more comfortable pushing the temperatures further, which it said 80 to 90 is fine, so technically we're within the realm, I would just put on a better cooler on this and call it a day, because this plus the 2080 Ti, this is a game that came out this last year that's not the most demanding. but it's a pretty demanding game. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, we're not getting any stuttering or lag or, oh, there's two of them. Oh, I'm dead. Don't shoot me, please. Those look really good. Where's this other one at? Oh, it's almost gone, please. Ow! Are we actually gonna beat these things? Where's the almost broken one? Blow up and blow up the other one, please. Oh, well, we got one. Probably about to die, though. Using this tree for cover. And, you know, take a quick look. That tree looks pretty good, you guys. Let's see if we can beat this other one. So we're still sitting at well above 100 FPS. The temperature... Oh, please, let me out. It is pretty hot, but, like... Wow, we are totally tricking this thing by using this tree. Where are you at? Ow! All my healing. Are we actually gonna beat this thing? Hey, we did it. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good spot. I don't want to push this too hard because, I mean, the smoke that you see coming out here is pretty impressive, but we don't want smoke coming out of here. And it is well within the realm of where it should be, but I don't like running it that hot. I would put a different cooler on this. So let's go ahead and jump over to, what did I say we're gonna do? Borderlands 4 and Spider-Man 2. Let's go to Borderlands 4 real quick and just see how that runs. So we've got Borderlands 4 loaded up here, and if you guys are looking at the PC, you might notice something just a tad bit different. So to give you some context, Borderlands 4, along with many other games these days, have the ability to preload shaders, which is very CPU intensive. Anytime you're in a game, if you have any type of tool like MSI Afterburner or Rivatuner, it will tell you the temperature and the percentage that's used. And usually when you're downloading shaders or preloading, whatever it's called, you'll go up to 100% utilization of the CPU, and your CPU temperature might go up a little bit. Well, the problem was when it was downloading or preloading, whatever you want to call it, the shaders, it got up to 97 degrees. So if you guys remember when we were in Arc Raiders, it was hovering between 80 to, I don't know, 85, 86, which was still too high. And it started kind of throttling it and made the shaders take a really long time. So we've actually installed a Thermalright Peerless Assassin on it because I don't want it to overheat. And we've got the stock cooler right here because it's just not worth it. So we're gonna play some Borderlands 4. As you can see here, our temperatures have dropped significantly. So that could be just a sign for you guys. If you're rocking an older CPU and it's starting to get slower, or you just want more performance and you are dropping in a more modern GPU, you might just need to put new thermal paste or invest in a better cooler, especially if you have a stock cooler. So I'll show you guys the settings here. Running 1440p, we've got set on medium, DLSS, quality, everything is medium. A couple things are very high. Texture pool is very high. I didn't realize that. Yeah, medium, some things are disabled. I don't know all of that, but we're gonna jump in here and play the game. So we're using 8 gigs of VRAM, 17 gigs of actual RAM, sitting at 52 FPS. Which way are we supposed to go? This way? Okay. I believe there's some stuff to fight here. So first of all, this is pretty high quality. Borderlands 4 is a really demanding game. So you guys can take a look at all that. Like, look at the detail. That's pretty solid. I'll go ahead and jump into some fighting here. Shoot at some things for you. Let me go jump over this way. Oh, got that guy. I missed. Okay, not noticing any stuttering. Oh, there we go. You guys will have to forgive me. I am not very good at video games these days. I don't get a lot of time to actually play them outside of benchmarking. So if you ever are like, oh, he stinks. Yeah, it's because I have a 2-year-old and another one on the way and I run a business. So there's that. Also, my mic died on me the first time I tried this. So if you guys see me glance down, it's because I'm trying to make sure my mic's not dead. Honestly, this is extremely impressive for being a 9-year-old processor. Oh, I am not noticing any lag, any latency, any kind of performance issues. This shotgun is so strong. Cool. That was a pretty easy wipe. Oh, here we go. Oh, he didn't die. He's dead. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good quality, you guys. Like, I think this is pretty solid considering that, one, this the GTX, it's not a GTX, it's an RTX 2080 Ti, can be found for about $300. And you can go and find an i7 8700K in a motherboard for probably like $100 or less these days. Like, you can go find them on Facebook Marketplace. So this is pretty solid. I feel like this is probably a good place to call it. We'll go ahead and jump into Spider-Man 2, and then after that we'll upgrade to the 9070 XT and see how that fares. All right, guys, so I had to call an audible. Turns out I didn't have a Spider-Man 2 on this SSD that I put into this computer, and it didn't have space for it. So we're gonna do Black Myth Wukong instead, and I'll throw some text up at the beginning. That way people aren't completely blinded by this. So I'm gonna show you the settings real quick. That way we can watch it. This is, again, one of the more graphically demanding games. So it's expected that it's going to take a lot of hits more towards the GPU, but the CPU still gets utilized pretty heavily. So we are in Super Resolution 50. I'm not sure if it'll let me bump up to 75. It's going to. Usually, so you'll see here, the current settings exceed the recommended settings and may lead to performance issues. I'm gonna go to 75 just to see what happens here. FSR 3, no frame gen, auto on that, no ray tracing. Everything else is just set to medium. Wow, this is a pretty stinking solid for a 9-year-old processor and what is it, 7-year-old graphics card? That's a pretty high quality, guys. Oh shoot, I might have loaded into my brother's game on accident. Oh well. Yeah, no lag. I mean, we're sitting at 75 FPS. Again, look at that CPU temperature. It's all the way down to 50 degrees. It was in 83 or 85 or something in Arc Raiders. So that's a 30 degree drop right there. And then if you're talking about 90 degrees, I mean, that's just wild to me. Again, that's without a panel on here, the cover. It probably would run a little hotter, but whatever. Anyway, I am already really impressed with this, and this is much better than I expected. Oh, you know what? We're gonna run in here and die really quick, but I just want you guys to take a look at like the visuals as we're about to do so, and we'll see if there's like any kind of latency or lag. Oh, I didn't know I could break that. Oh, geez. Oh, I haven't learned that yet. Ow, ow. Oh, oh, run! All right, can I just leave here? I regret my decisions, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, we're just gonna leave that guy. I think I did load into my brother's account on accident. But anyway, like, this is relatively solid for the foliage. You can see, like, I'll maybe zoom you guys in here, but there is like some blockiness to it kind of, but I mean, again, this is a 9-year-old processor with an 8-year-old graphics card. Like, this is pretty solid. I feel like this is, you could go buy and build a PC like this for, I don't know, $700, $300 plus. This is a higher end motherboard. You wouldn't have to get this motherboard. I think this motherboard still goes for like 130, 140. You could probably find the i7 8700K and then like a motherboard for it for $100, maybe less because it's so old. So 100, 400, 450, a power supply. This one was, oh, I got thermal paste on this. Ew, hold on. I bought this power supply on sale, excuse me, for $50. I think it was $50 or $60. What does that put me at? 510. A case is another 60 to 100 depending on what you're getting. I mean, that's actually ridiculous that we're sitting in 1440p, 80 FPS on Black Myth Wukong, and it's still pretty solid. And you can, that's nuts. I might do this and sell something like this. I might go find a 2080 Ti or a 38, maybe not a 3080. 3080s are still pretty expensive. I'm gonna run in here and die to this guy real quick. Wait, is this the one? This is the one, isn't it? Okay. So you can see here, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys a little bit. It doesn't look amazing. So you're not gonna fight me? Oh, it won't let me out. Okay. I've beaten this guy once. I guess this is also just like a good test here too. To kind of see how. I'm gonna get myself killed. I don't want to beat him. I mean, I probably wouldn't beat him anyway. So yeah, this is pretty solid. An 8700K paired with a 2080 Ti. So if you guys are looking for a lower budget PC, like this is a great place to start. And you're more than welcome to ask any questions of like PCs that I think would be compatible, like the CPU or the graphics card. So yeah, this looks great for me. I think we should go ahead and drop in the 9070 XT and think, or, so this looks great for me. I think we should go ahead and drop in the 9070 XT and see like if the performance improves, if we're noticing any problems with it, or if it just really bottlenecks it. Because you guys, if you haven't, I've done tons of videos with the 9070 XT and pairing it with weaker PCs. I've now got it in my main computer with a 9600X and that thing flies. So yeah, let's test out that 9070 XT. All right guys, so we now have the 9070 XT hooked up. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. I expect this to be either really amazing or kind of disappointing based on the fact that I have to run away real quick because that's an arc raider, or an arc. I expect this to be really amazing or kind of disappointing because the CPU is going to bottleneck it. Either way, let's go ahead and dive into the settings. I'm probably going to pump them up just because this graphics card is supposed to be able to handle it a little higher. So we are continuing on 1440p. Should be FSR. There we go, FSR 3. Does it have an FSR 4 on this? No, okay. So we'll do FSR 3. We could probably, I'm gonna pump everything up to cinematic just because this graphics card should be able to handle that. And I am gonna throw ray tracing at it because it's a $750 graphics card. It should be able to handle that. So we'll see how much the CPU actually holds us back. It is taking a little while. So I will say while it's doing this, and we're gonna turn the ray tracing up high. While it is going through these things, the shaders and all the games take a lot longer. And I imagine if you were not gaming, excuse me, I had lunch not too long ago. I imagine if you're not gaming and you're doing some other things that are just more CPU intensive, like in general, like video editing or, okay. It's probably gonna be a lot slower and more affected by that processor, but here at this moment, we're gonna find out. So we're sitting at 60 degrees, 63 degrees on the CPU, 21, almost 22 gigs of RAM, 195 FPS. That's without frame gen. That is so crazy. And you know, only not even 6 gigs of VRAM. That's wild. The game looks insane. I cannot believe a 9-year-old processor. I'm never gonna get sponsored by companies because all I do is prove that maybe you don't need to upgrade stuff. Look at those trees, man. I really don't know if I could tell you the difference between this 8700K and my 9600X. And the 9600X is a processor that came out last year. Oh, okay, I did see potentially some blurriness there, and I don't know if that was like when I ran through the trees. I think that's supposed to be a feature. Dude, we're sitting at 200 FPS. What is this? How are we getting 200 FPS? All right, let's just go over this way here real quick. Yeah, it's raining. We're getting, okay, so now we're down to 120 FPS. Oh, Is there a person here? I'm actually going to go and third party this person. Oh, they died. That's unfortunate. Oh, there was some stutter. There was some stutter. How's that not dead? Why are you not dead? Oh, no. Okay. There was some stutter there. So I think that's where we're seeing the computing side of things hit its limits. Oh, it kind of stinks that I'm just going to throw this away because there's a body here to loot. Oh, wait, can I? Do I have a defibrillator? How do I don't know how to... Can I stabilize this guy? How do I help him, guys? Oh no, I don't know how to do it. I don't have a defibrillator. I'm sorry. Oh, I feel terrible. I don't have anything that can help this guy. I don't have... How do I not have anything in my inventory here? That feels bad. I gotta let the guy die. I'm sorry. Well, on that sad note, I feel like this is a good example of this game. And if you guys play Arc Raiders, and I don't know if you could see the name, but maybe go show that person some love. I doubt you can, but let's go ahead and jump into Borderlands 4 and see how that runs with this thing. We are in Borderlands 4 now, and I am going to repeat this again. Rendering, preloading, downloading shaders, whatever it's called these days, is not fun on this, especially as a content creator. I'm just ranting here. Spending an extra 45 minutes to an hour putting these other GPUs in and having them have to go through shaders every time. So that 8700K is slower. They're like, if I compare that to my 9600X, that zips through it. This is painful. Again, if you're just gaming on it one time, it's not a big deal. This is more of like, if you were switching to a lot of different games, so probably irrelevant for most of you. Anyway, we've got the 9070 XT here with Borderlands 4. We're gonna go ahead and pump up some of these graphics as well, so 1440p. I'm gonna go to very high. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go all the way up to the highest that we can go here because that is what it runs with on the 9600X that I use. So I do wanna see if this is gonna be capable. You know, maybe it's gonna go through these shaders really quickly and you guys are gonna see. Otherwise, I'm gonna cut to a part where, you know, you're seeing me pull my hair out because it takes too long. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. It takes forever and ever. Hey, the shaders are finally done. Okay, so 65 degrees, 60 down. Okay, so we're cooling down after the shaders have finished. So 63 degrees on the CPU. 18 gigs of RAM, 65 FPS total, 53 degrees on the GPU, 100% utilization, almost up to 10 gigs of VRAM. And the game looks amazing. Wow. This looks significantly better than it did on the 2080 Ti. And the fact that we're running at all those maxed out settings too probably has an impact on that. We're not gonna go through too much of this though, because I'm burnt out of playing this same exact scene, but yeah, this, okay, there's definitely some latency on this. So there is absolutely zero latency whenever I'm using the 9600X. There is some on this, but maybe it was just a stutter or two, and now it kind of seems like we're okay now. Why do those things like back away from you? Oh, there's one. What is that? I missed. It's so hard to shoot those ones that are moving. I'm bad. Okay. You guys are seeing here that I'm bad. So I really only noticed that latency like one time. Otherwise, it hasn't been that bad. Okay, there was a little bit of a stutter too. Oh. I would still run this CPU personally. I actually had one before I got into PC building and understood it. The very first PC that I built was a i7-8700K with a 1080. And that was 9 or 10 years ago. And I recently got rid of it. I gave it to my buddy to pair with his older PC to steal some of the RAM and stuff. And if I had known now what I had known then, I might have just upgraded the graphics card for the time being, because this is still very capable. Yeah, I feel like this is just really solid in representation of... Oh, nice. Oh, I'm bad. Yeah, this is super playable, guys. I would play this. Oh, I'm bad. Ow, that hurt. Ow, that hurt. It's still hurting. Yep, I'm bad. Okay, I'm gonna get myself killed. Yeah, okay, cool. That seems like a pretty good spot to call it. Let's go ahead and jump over to Black Myth Wukong, get that, and then we'll give our final thoughts on an i7-8700K, or a 9-year-old processor. All right, guys, so we now have Black Myth Wukong loaded up on the 9070 XT. I'm gonna take you through the settings that we're running really quickly. As someone that plays on the 9600X, and the 9070 XT is my daily driver card right now. I have tested this on that, and it looks amazing. So we're gonna kind of see what this looks like on an older 8700K. So we have FSR 4 on. I'm not gonna take this all the way up to 100 because it does start to see problems. Ray tracing is on very high. We are on cinematic for everything. So first off, holy cow, look at the quality of that. And I say that whenever I play the 9600X too. It is amazing. So this is an 8700K and a 9070 XT. Guys, look at the quality of Black Myth, or of Wukong's face there. So we are sitting at 55 degrees on the CPU, 15 gigs of RAM, 60 FPS, 53 degrees on the GPU, and 7 gigs of VRAM. We're gonna run through a little bit, fight a little bit, just to kind of see if there's any lag, stuttering, any kind of problems. But the visual quality of this in the 9070 XT is great. Where I will say that I've seen some things, so like comparing this again to the 9600X, which is an AM5 processor that I daily drive, the 1% lows and the stutters happen a lot more often. In fact, I almost never see them on that one. So that's where I think that the CPU is a little bit weaker in the gaming aspect. So let's run over here, kind of get some engagement going on. No lag or latency or stutters. There still is you guys might not be able to see it. I've complained about this in past videos, but the hair fuzziness around Wukong there. 50 FPS, which is super, super playable at a 1440p cinematic full ray tracing experience for this game. Yeah, this is very, very playable. Oh wait, no, I don't want to fight that guy again. Actually, you know what? It was cool visual quality, so I'm gonna let you guys see that again. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack him. Hey, you. Yeah, take that, buddy. Oh, there's a wolf waiting for me. Oh, we dodged him. Ow, ow. Okay, well, I'm dead. Cool. I feel like that's a good representation of the game Black Myth Wukong on the 9070 XT. So let's go ahead and wrap up the video and just discuss final thoughts. So now that I've had a chance to test this 8700K behind me, obviously we ran into a problem with the stock cooler not being adequate enough, or at least for what I felt was going to be safe, because you know, at 97 degrees it could have started creeping up to 100, 105, and who knows if it was going to set my PC on fire and potentially my home, which nobody wants that. But as far as the gameplay goes in this very limited sample of 3 games, it felt very competent and strong still. And again, as I mentioned, you are going to face some of those stutters, and you probably will have some issues, like if you were to do video editing, or like if you're working with like AutoCAD or some kind of simulator, it will probably struggle more there than a modern CPU. So, you know, if you are specifically purchasing a CPU or planning on getting a type of game or system or software that is more CPU heavy, you might want to think about that before, you know, considering purchasing something of this older quality. But otherwise, like if you're just a general gamer, this felt really strong still for a 9-year-old, CPU. I'd still have to kind of go back and look, but I think I've seen some of the 8700Ks on Facebook Marketplace for like $50, and you could probably pick up a motherboard, like I said, for maybe $60 or something like that. I think this actually had stronger performance than the Ryzen 5 5500. I'd have to verify that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so that kind of concludes the thoughts. And if you're in a spot where you're running an older CPU like this, just upgrade your GPU. I mean, unless you're in a CPU demanding game, software program, something like that, then maybe it's worth it. But this probably will run strong for another 2 to 3 years, or maybe longer if you just drop some money on a graphics card. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this, I do create other content as well. So recently I hosted an axe throwing competition where I had 25 gamers come out and throw at a Yard Games axe board, and they competed for a gaming computer. One of them walked away. It was 35 degrees outside, 20-mile-per-hour winds, pretty insane and intense. I've also done other videos where I took a mid-end CPU and paired it with like this 9070 XT. So I did a Ryzen 5 5600X, which is on the AM4 platform, to see, is there a severe bottleneck there? So if either of those videos sound interesting to you, be sure to click on one of them here and consider subscribing and leaving a like for this video so that YouTube knows that you enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.